Hello again, Michael Friedberg here from beautiful North Carolina, and in today's shave, it's 4 new products. The only old product is the razor blade. First of all, today's soap. Stirling Soap Company is going to be the Baker Street, which is the resurrected, rescued scent from the Strop Shoppe. This is, as you can see, is a large container. It's almost 6 ounces of soap. Let me show what it looks like inside the container. A delightful light yellow color. I've scooped out enough, more than enough for the week. This is another beef tallow and lanolin based soap, and it also includes castor oil, almond oil, shea butter, and coconut milk. Now, as I said, it does contain lanolin, so if you're sensitive to lanolin, unfortunately you'll have to skip this soap. It is a slightly hard soap, but certainly very easy to scoop out of the container. And for those of you that are wondering how I do that, it's really quite simple. I actually use like an old gelato spoon, or I have a small bamboo spoon that I use, and I just scoop out enough for the week. And the reason I do that is so that when I give these soaps away, and I give away quite a number of the soaps that I receive for review, or ones that I purchased, I've never lathered inside the container, so it's never really been wet, never been really touched by a brush or anything like that. It's basically untouched. All I've done is scoop the soap out. Here it is in the lathering bowl. Let's talk about the scent for just a moment before we go on to the next product. The Baker Street, you know, to me, this is a lightly floral, lightly citrus, slightly posh smelling cologne style scent. I believe it's juniper, jasmine, patchouli, and bergamot, I believe. I hope I get that right. It just has a nice, light, kind of fresh, slightly citrus, slightly floral scent to it. It's not overpowering. Scent strength is pretty good off the puck, and is, at least to me, dissipates a little bit in use. Today's brush is another brush for review from Yaqi. This is their 24mm High Mountain Badger. I just want you to take a look at the size of the knot, how nicely that's opened up. There are a few small stray hairs on the side, and by the way, this is just a big shout out to Grace Chen. Thank you so much for the brushes, and thank you so much for watching. A beautiful brush, very easy to use, very nice soft tips, a little bit prickly if you press too much, but and I'll explain why that's actually of some benefit when we get into the shave. Very nice, easy to hold handle. I love the translucent blue and just a nice offset there with the white. Very, very nice looking design. The razor for today. The razor for today is the 3rd timeless that I have been offered to use. And again, thank you so much. For those of you that are lending me these razors, I recognize that this is, you know, you're giving up something that you spent a lot of money on and that you love. So appreciate your trust, and certainly very grateful for the loan. Today is going to be a stainless steel version. This is the scalloped head. It is going to be a washcloth blade, which I will show you here. This is, I think, the 3rd or 4th use on there. The base plate is the 0.95mm blade gap, so that is the more aggressive of the bunch. It has the exact same head style, so you can see very, very nice open channels for the base plate. It does include, I hope you can see that, the numbering on the base plate tells you what the blade gap is there, so that's a very nice touch. I'm going to put a washer on there, and the handle is this dimpled or golf ball style. Let me just put the razor together. Make sure that's good and tight. There we go. All right, let me wet my face and get the lather going. Yeah, I have waited a long time to use the Stirling Soaps. For some reason, they just kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. But I picked up this at the Magrid meetup. The Baker Street soap and the Aftershave Balm, which is what I'll be using at the end of the shave. All right, let's get the brush, just wet it through. No need to really soak the Badger brush, just using the hot water in the sink to wet it through. I'm going to shake out most of the water. You can hear how much gets stuck in there. Sucks up quite a bit. I'm going to load with a bit of a dry brush to start with, and then keep adding water. The first day or so, I sort of deliberately underloaded. You're always experimenting a bit with the new soap to figure out how much you need. And even though I got what I now know is definitely too light a load, still in the end got a very good shave. So good protection from the soap. There we go. You can see that's already starting to form a bit of a thicker, more lather-like paste, not quite so foamy. All right, a touch more water. Yeah, the rest of the week I've been loading pretty heavy because I actually scooped out quite a bit. I don't think I'm going to be being quite so stingy with the weekly ration. You can see what's starting to happen. It's starting to build out over the edge of the loading bowl. All right, a little bit more water and a little bit more loading. Just get the brush really good and loaded. Don't laugh when you see how much soap is in there. There we go. Nice. All right. And there is still plenty of lather in the loading bowl as well. So let me just get my face wet. Drip a bit of water onto the brush as always. And let's go ahead and start building the lather. I have found the soap to be very, very easy to work with. Lathers very quickly. You get an almost immediate feel for how close it is to being ready. A nice sheen to it. The brush is a little bit prickly if you press down too hard. Light pressure has got a nice balance of sort of scritch and softness to it. I think that's going to do very well if you are shaving every couple of days or you have sort of dense beard growth and you really want to be able to work the soap into your bristles, your whiskers. This is a very nice option. The knot basically opened up after one use. I'm very happy with it. All right, that is still a little bit dry because I did load a lot of soap, but you can see how nicely that's coming together. This brush also collects a lot of lather at the bottom there, so that's just one thing to pay attention to. You can just obviously just run your finger, just pull it back into the top. I'm going to add just a bit more water. And you'll see this will take on a very nice sheen. Nice slick feel as you move the brush over your face. It's not pasty or too thick. There we go. You can see how quickly that came together. Now, I will say this lather, at least for me, it feels a little bit less dense or less heavy than some of the other tallow-based soaps I've used recently. But to be fair, some of those have been sort of super fatted, so that's not a negative on the soap at all. It's just a different face feel. All right, the Timeless Stainless Steel Scalloped Head 0.95 millimeter blade gap, third or fourth use on the Vashkod blade. And I have switched to the Vashkod. I was using a Nasset at first, which was not good. Now you may be recalling my very positive review of the titanium version of this razor. And although this is the same head geometry, this razor simply does not feel the same in use. This feels distinctly more aggressive. It doesn't feel at all unsafe in use. There's no blade chatter or anything like that, but you can definitely feel the blade more than you could in the titanium razor. And I think that that's primarily a result of the just the weight of the razor. Two days of growth, as always. You can see it's just absolutely tearing through that. This razor feels more aggressive in use than the titanium one, and is, unfortunately for me, a little less comfortable. It's not uncomfortable, it's just not as comfortable. I mean, the razor is just absolutely tearing through the hair and just pulling everything off. So there is very little soap left. Now, when you wet your face with the Stirling Soaps, you get a very good feel for sort of the fundamental slickness. A nice layer of sort of residual slickness there. But I will say that that razor is just cutting straight through and just going right down to the skin. All right, let me lather up again. With the grain pass, very good with that razor. I mean, just very clean. There we go. Just pull a bit of that extra lather up, and you can see how sort of nice and shiny that is. There we go. Yeah, I think given the performance of the soap, the fact that you're getting close to 6 ounces in a container makes this, to my mind, this very, very good value soap. You're getting a lot of very high performing soap for a great price. All right, let's do the across the grain. Here is where it starts to come, the differences between the titanium and the stainless steel become more noticeable for me. With the titanium razor, I felt it was a little more carefree, not automatic, but I feel like you really need to be paying attention when shaving with this one. I've had no nicks or cuts. I've had 1 or 2 tiny weepers, but those seem to be like just the one hair is just raised enough that just a little spot. Really gotta watch the pressure. And the only negative so far for me for the razor is that honestly, this handle style, this dimpled style, to me is, if it gets any soap on it at all, is slippery to hold, at least in my experience. I would still, I mean, I love the way these look. It's a very cool design. I would still go for the knurled handle. And I would agree with the person who lent it, by the way. You're getting an extremely close shave after 2 passes, and then use your 3rd pass for cleanup. Here is where I've been struggling. This hair, for some reason, seems a little denser and even flatter inside that curve, which makes it quite hard to get into. Yeah, it's just, you know, I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity to try to use these in person, because honestly, you wouldn't know about how sort of really different these razors feel on the face until you get a chance to use them in person. You know, given my experience to date, I would go for the stainless steel, the 0.68 millimeter blade gap, which is a bit more comfortable, maybe a little more mild, or the titanium in the 0.95. Okay, let's rinse. So that's 2 passes, and you can see there's definitely still some hair to be taken off, but that is already a very, very nice close shave. No complaints at all with the sort of the quality of the shave or the outcome. It is 100% very efficient in taking the hair off. Wow. Okay. Pass number 3. I'm going to wet the tips of the brush a little bit and just sort of pull out some of the extra lather from the bowl. There's no need to waste that. Just put that on my finger right there. Let's apply that. Now for this 3rd pass, gentle. For those of you in countries far, far away, I'm just going to pick a country at random. Let's say Greece. and you're a person who loves to overshave until there is not one tiny nanometer of hair left, gentle. Yeah, you can see just how much lather is stuck inside the brush. That's holding on to a lot. You can see beautiful quality lather. Yeah, I've been very, very happy with the Stirling soap. There we go. Third and final pass. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer about the handle because, you know, I think the kind of the change in design is very cool, and I really do applaud them for the sort of the work they're putting into making those handles stand out or sort of be a bit differentiated from others in the market. Easy for me to say, but yeah, I don't think I would choose this. It just doesn't feel like enough grip to me, and if it's soapy at all, I have felt a couple times like, nah, too slippery, too slippery. All right, this is the final against the grain. Here is where the difference really stands out for me. Very light pressure, just really just gliding it over the skin. Even though you can still hear some, resist the temptation because you can still hear some feedback to press down. Just not as comfortable for me as it was with the titanium. So weird. It's the exact same head, but just the material difference makes you know, does make a difference. This is a good example where the razor is just take it off all the soap. There's no real residual slickness left, so you know, very efficient. I know for those of you that love a really aggressive razor, man, I think this is just going to be a great choice. You just have to know, just be able to evaluate the differences between the two materials. You like heavy and aggressive, this is going to be a great choice. I'm gonna leave that spot for another day because I've overshaved there a couple of times this week and just a little bit irritated. All right, residual slickness and how easy is the soap to rinse? Well, actually, soap is not that easy to rinse, which is, you know, good and bad. I know I keep saying that, but it is one of those weird things like easy to rinse, okay. Hard to rinse, okay. It just means that you have a bit of extra work to do. There we go. Now, post shave on the soap, for me, is pretty good. I don't have any, specific or noticeable dryness or tightness. There's a slight slick layer despite having rinsed it. Wow. Yeah, that razor is just phenomenally efficient. And if you are a person with heavy beard growth, you're only shaving a couple times a week and you just have, you know, something dense to cut through and you enjoy the feel of an aggressive razor, I think you're going to make a great choice with that one. Okay. Not too shabby. All right, so far so good. Now, the matching aftershave balm. This is also the Baker Street. Scent on this is about as strong as it is in the soap. So it's strong, but certainly not overpowering. This is one of the more sort of a denser, waxier aftershave balms, which I personally prefer. I don't really like the milky ones. This does contain witch hazel. It does have aloe. It does include emulsifying wax, which I think is one of the positives of the face feel there. Meadow foam seed oil, grapeseed oil, shea butter, and coconut oil as well. So let me just squeeze out a little bit. Now, again, this is a 4-ounce container, so that is a lot of balm. You do not need a lot. I'm going to put on 3 small drops like that, and that is really all you need. And that will take a moment or two to work in. I'm going to use just a touch more. Oh yeah, you can see right there, just a little touch right there. Okay. I have been applying this to a dry face. I think if you leave your face a little too wet or too damp, because of the wax, this actually becomes a bit harder to apply. This goes in very easily. Yeah, nice light scent. And what this does is it actually creates kind of a slightly hydrating and smooth, kind of slick layer. Skin feels nice and supple. And at least for me, I could still feel that layer on there quite some time later. Certainly during the course of the day, you know, after lunch or early afternoon, you can still feel that the balm is on there and doing what it should do, which is kind of protecting your skin and trapping some moisture under it. Very nice, very nice stuff. And like I said, I really do prefer the thicker balms to the kind of the milkier ones. So that's right up my alley. All right, let me rinse my hands. This is 100% one of those balms where I will always rinse my hands afterwards. All right, well, man, that is a very close shave. Not with the comfort that I would honestly would pick for me, because as a daily shaver with my skin and my beard growth, that razor is just a little touch too much. The titanium version, do that again, titanium version, certainly better. All right, let's roll through the products again, lickety split. The Baker Street, this is the Stirling Soap Company, the resurrection, the rescue of the Strop Shoppe scent. A big container. This is tallow, lanolin, and shea butter. Very easy to use, easy to lather, produces a very nice creamy slick lather, as you could see. Very nice post shave. The scent strength on this is quite nice, not overpowering, but strong enough out of the container. Easy to use. Definitely recommended for beginning wet shavers and experienced wet shavers alike, because there's just nothing to it. You just load your brush and lather away. Recommended. Really enjoying this stuff. Aftershave balm. Let's stick with the Stirling stuff for the moment. Aftershave balms, you just saw slightly thicker, slightly waxy, dense aftershave balm. Takes a moment to work in. I've been applying to a dry face. That's worked better for me than on a wet face. The effects have lasted quite a while, certainly through the most of the day. Also recommended. Really been enjoying this. It's a timeless razor, 0.95 stainless steel scalloped head, heavy with this dimpled or golf ball handle. This razor is just a touch too much for me. The titanium version is clearly better. I would go for the 0.68 for this one. It is beautifully made. It is beautifully balanced. It just looks really cool. You're clearly going to have this forever. Dense, thick, heavy beard growth, go for this 0.95. If you're a daily shaver that doesn't have like a super thick growth, or you don't want quite that level of aggression, I would bump down to the 0.68. I just want to say thank you again to the person who lent me the 2 of his razors. A fantastic experience, and I really appreciate the generosity and the trust. Thank you very much. Finally, for my friends at Yaqi, and I hope you're enjoying this video while you're enjoying a bit of a lunch break. It's an inside joke with Grace Chen. The 24mm high mountain badger brush. Very cool looking handle. I love the translucent base. Very easy to use, opened up right away, no real animal funk at all to begin with. It is a little bit prickly and a little bit scritchy. So again, that's a good match for a person with a denser beard growth. You want to really work the soap into your bristles and just have a, a really good go at it. That makes an excellent, excellent choice. All right, well, that's it once again for today. Man, what a fantastic shave. Overall, very, very good. Still smooth, comfortable, no burn irritation. I stopped soon enough here to not give myself another spot right down here, so just have to know when to stop. Just want to say thank you again so much for watching these videos. I really appreciate the time you're taking to watch. Thank you again so much for all the comments and the questions. You can, of course, leave a comment or question against this video or any previous video. Thanks again so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.